It's the Andy Griffith Show, Facts and Trivia, with your host, Bob Snap.
Guys, went to the Andy Griffith Show, Facts and Trivia. We're going to do something a little different today. We're going to talk about the vehicles from the Andy Griffith Show. Okay, we're going to start with the squad car. Probably the most recognized vehicle in the series is the Mayberry patrol car. Andy and Barney drove this 1961 Ford Fairlane town sedan with a whip antenna. They started the series with the 1960 Ford Fairlane four-door sedan, and later on, Andy would update the patrol car to a 62 Ford Galaxy, 63 Ford Galaxy, 64 Ford Custom four-door sedan. Uncle Ollie drove this one. 1965 Ford Custom four-door sedan, 66 Ford Custom four-door sedan, and a 1967 Ford Custom four-door sedan. Okay, then we got from Hubcaps Lesh. This star was sold to Mr. Independent Wheels, Barney Fife, by auto swindler Hubcaps Lesh, Ellen Corby, who later played Grandma Walton. Immediately after the sale, according to Wally and Gomer, this 1954 Ford Custom Line sedan needed plugs, points, bearings, valves, rings, starter switch, ignition wires, water pump, fuel pump, oil pump, clutch bearings, clutch plate, brake lining, brake shoes, brake drums, radiator hose, and a radiator hose cover. And it could use a good wash as well. Bought at the Warsaw Plus auction over in Mount Pilot, Barney added a three-wheeled vehicle to Mayberry's police force and nearly ran over everybody in town. This 1925 Harley Davidson JD was finally retired to the Mayberry National Guard Armory after Andy read it was used for the Battle of Chateau Thierry in 1918. That was 7 years before the cycle was made. Oh, the wonders of Hollywood. Here's a little trivia note for you. The American flags on Barney's handlebars each had 48 stars. Also, that's Don's stunt double on the motorcycle. Barney Fife left the show after the first 5 seasons, all in black and white, but Don Knotts returned as a guest star for 5 episodes in color. The first one was titled The Return of Barney Fife, in which he drove in a Mayberry in its 1958 Edison Pacer. Barney incorrectly called it a 1960 model with a 61 grille, so maybe he was swindled again, this time by a used car dealer in Raleigh. After a few years on the show, Aunt Bee decided she needed her own wheels. So she bought a 1955 Ford Fairlane Sunliner convertible from Goober. Loved to have this car. And promptly backed it into a tree. Of course, in real life, Miss Bobby A. drove a 1966 Studebaker Daytona before some kitty cats made it their home. Oh, it was a beautiful thing to watch. Just beautiful, said Floyd the barber as he watched Goober Powell place a 1960 Rambler American inside the Mayberry courthouse one piece at a time, which is also how he had to remove the car, one piece at a time. In a black day for Mayberry, the friendly folks were amazed when the gold truck passed through. Of course, this 1959 International Harvester B-Series was a decoy packed with sand and not gold. Shazam. The episode Man in a Hurry frequently gets voted most favorite episode by fans of the show. Malcolm Tucker's 1963 Lincoln Continental gets a clogged fuel line on a Sunday and learns to relax in Mayberry, whether he likes it or not. That scene was basically rewritten a few years later with the same actor in a similar car. This time it's Willard Foster who had car trouble. The newer episode featured a novelty, though, a car phone. Deputy Barney Fife gives a 1961 Cadillac Fleetwood 75 limousine a parking ticket when he finds out that the car is registered to the governor of North Carolina. Soon Barney finds out that the governor is going to make a special trip to Mayberry just to meet him. Here's a little trivia. The governor's driver was played by Rance Howard, the real-life father of Ron and Clint Howard. A Lincoln, then a limousine. How about a 1967 Lincoln Continental Executive Limousine by Lee McPherson? Andy drives Aunt Bee's car to pick up Opie at a friend's house, and what a collection of other Lincolns are there as well. Bobby Fleet and his band with the beat rode in Mayberry in a 1948 Cadillac airport limousine. Too long for just one parking place, so old reliable Barney Fife gave him a ticket, naturally. Another car I'd like to have. Nothing like the lovable town drunk buying his own car. Barney said, well, it's bad enough having a plain old town drunk, but now we got a mechanized one. In Hot Rod Otis, Otis Campbell bought this 1933 Ford V8, drove it while sober a few times, and then sold it to Charlie Barney. Whenever Briscoe Darling brought the clan to town, they arrived in a 1929 Ford Model AA. Music was bound to ensue, as Briscoe, played by Denver Powell, always said, "Got time to breathe, got time for music." Might also note that the Darlings truck was the only vehicle to be featured in both the original series and in 1985's Return to Mayberry. Only in Mayberry would you find a man who walks in the treetops, wears a silver hat, and has 12 extra hands, blows smoke from his ears, and jingles when he walks as if he had rings on his fingers and bells on his toes. But it's when he gives Opie a quarter that Andy gets suspicious. Andy thinks Opie is making all this up, except for the quarter, and his short dialogue is a sample of the excellent writing in the show. Barney: "Yeah, but how can you explain it all?" Andy: "I can't." Barney: "But you do believe in Mr. McBeebe." Andy: "No, I do believe in Opie." Turned out that Mr. McBeebe was a lineman who drove a 1957 Ford F-Series pickup with flashing lights and a service bed. Sports cars made a few appearances on the show. Here at the auto show, Aunt B checks out a 1966 Ferrari 275 GTB4. It's too bad the Taylors didn't buy that car because it's worth a lot of money now. And a new doctor in town, William Christopher, who also plays Father Mulcahy on MASH, arrives in Mayberry driving a 1955 Jaguar XK 140. He later removes Opie's tonsils. And Jim Lindsay, played by James Best, arrives in style in a Mercedes-Benz 190 SL. Mercedes-Benz look-alike the 1965 Excalibur Series 1 wheels into Wally's gas station. Not only is this car quite the looker, it has an interesting Studebaker connection as well. The pump says Super Acme, and I'll bet a gallon cost less than a quarter back then. People in the background of the scenes are known as extras or background actors, so here are a couple of background cars that made frequent scenery along the streets of Mayberry: the white 1961 Ford Falcon, and in the lower picture, a 1959 Chevrolet Biscayne, and the Falcon were frequently seen in the background. And finally, I'd have to mention that in the 1986 TV movie Return to Mayberry, acting Sheriff Barney Fife drove a 1981 Chevy Malibu. This mid-sized car was a departure from the larger Fords of yore, but seemed to serve the town and citizens of Mayberry very well. There's a lot more vehicles that was on Mayberry, but I thought these was the ones that stood out, and the ones that you guys mostly know. Everybody asked why in the movie they switched out to a different car instead of the Fords. Well, in the series, there was a car dealership that was given these cars to use each year. Then they'd take it back and give them a new one, and then they'd sell that one. So they was getting them for free. Pretty good deal. Anyway, all I got for you here, guys. I hope you enjoyed this. Please don't forget about Last Real Comedies, Facts, and Trivia. It is on Sergeant Carter from Gomer Pyle USMC. And Clash Rock and Country Music, Facts, Trivia. It's on. Do you remember when the Monkees toured and their warm-up act was Jimi Hendrix? True. And Classic TV, Facts, and Trivia. Why did Gary Barkoff abruptly leave MASH? Some pretty good ones, guys. I hope you watch them. Please don't forget to subscribe. Please like this video. You guys have a great day. God bless you. I'm praying for you.